All along, I was laboring under the assumption that Abram, later Abraham, son of Terah, a descendant of Noah, through his son Shem, met Lady Luck and got his blessings on a silver plate. Abram means father of a mighty nation, whereas Abraham means father of many nations. His name change happened when God appeared to him and changed it to confirm a promise. He faced numerous challenges and tests throughout his life. King Nimrod was a tyrant who encouraged idolatry and defiance against God's authority. The name Nimrod means rebel. He was the king of Ur of the Chaldeans, present-day Iraq. Terah was one of his ministers. Nimrod was a pivotal figure in the spread of polytheism and pagan practices, as well as a representation of human pride and disobedience. His reign is often seen as a turning point where the focus shifted from worshipping the one true God to the reverence of idols and various deities. Abraham escaped death 3 times. The first time was when his father Terah outwitted King Nimrod as a newborn baby. The night before he was born, Nimrod's astrologers were gathered at Terah's house. They interpreted the stars in the constellation, foreseeing that the newly born child would become the chief and the father of a mighty nation. This discovery was reported to Nimrod, who subsequently feared that the new star could overshadow his own. Nimrod ordered Terah to bring the newborn baby to the palace to have his life taken away. Terah tried to talk Nimrod out of it, but he couldn't. He deceitfully exchanged his son with a servant's child, who was born the same day as Abraham. Baby Abraham was meanwhile hidden in a cave along with his mother and a wet nurse. They remained there together, away from the outside world, for a decade. Abraham was robbed of his childhood. From a young age, he understood that it was foolish to worship the sun or any other idol. Instead, he recognized the existence of one great God who created the sun, the moon, and the entire universe. This God, although unseen, observes and knows everything. At the age of 10, Abraham decided to leave the cave without telling anyone and went to visit old Noah and Shem, whom his mother had told him many wonderful stories about. Abraham spent many years there, obtaining invaluable knowledge about the flood from the very men who constructed the ark and witnessed the catastrophe firsthand. Old Noah and Shem taught him everything about God and his ways. The second escape was when he was miraculously saved from the fiery furnace for his irreverence towards the gods. Terah was also deeply involved in idol worship, even running a thriving business where idols of wood, stone, silver, and gold were made. People came to offer sacrifices to these idols or to buy them. One day, when he left the shop in Abraham's care, who was back home by then, Abraham smashed the idols, declaring that the statues had no real power. Enraged, Terah reported Abraham to Nimrod, forgetting that he outwitted him. Both Abraham and his father were summoned to appear before the king. The king's stargazers immediately recognized Abraham as the individual they had warned the king about. Terah faced serious consequences for deceiving the king, and in a desperate attempt to shift culpability, he cast the blame onto his eldest son, Haran. Abraham actively preached against idol worship and challenged the authority of Nimrod, who was a powerful ruler and demanded everyone worship his idols. When ordered to worship the idols, Abraham refused and declared his belief in a single, true God. Nimrod declared they worship wind. Abraham pointed out that people have an incredible ability to endure the howling winds that life throws their way. Nimrod grew angry with Abraham and ordered that he be cast into the fire. He further said if Abraham is correct, that there is a real God, then that God will save him. Abraham was consequently thrown into a fiery furnace, but came out unharmed, demonstrating the power of his God to the onlookers. It only burned the rope that bound him. Nimrod became afraid of Abraham. To make amends, he gave him many precious gifts, among them Eliezer, a member of the king's household who became Abraham's trusted servant and friend. the very same Eliezer who was sent to look for a wife for Isaac, Abraham's son. The third escape was when he was alerted about the plot by Eliezer. Nimrod had a strange dream, and his counselors interpreted it to mean that as long as Abraham was alive, his kingdom would remain in danger. Nimrod, who had been worried about Abraham, decided to try again to take his life and sent men to capture him. Eliezer was fortunate to learn about the plot in time and alerted Abraham. He then fled to Noah's house. Terror came to visit Abraham. It was there that Abraham persuaded him to abandon his idolatry, pointing out that his life was in danger because Nimrod would not spare him. As a result, Terah decided to leave his prestigious position at Nimrod's court and accompanied Abraham to Haran. Abraham suffered the humiliation and shame of barrenness. Even Lot, his nephew, had children before him. There is no testimony without pain, tests, and trials. God detests idol worship. If you are a Christian and worship him and the idols, he will spew you. God safeguards those who are destined for a greater purpose. If you stand firm against idol worship, God will bless you as he blessed Abraham. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.